Hi everyone, my name is Taylor O'Deatzes and welcome to my assessment presentation of Policing in Practice, course CRJUS 2474 for Criminal Justice. The article I've chosen to investigate, along with relevant policing issues is called Failure in Our System, after Hannah Clarke and her children's murder. Experts call for action. This article was published to the Queensland Guardian on the 22nd of February 2020. This event relates to issues of police misconduct and will be studied in Week 9, and Policing Women, which falls under the topic of policing diverse communities, which will be studied in Week 7 of this course. Relevant information was sourced from the textbook Contemporary Police Practice and will be referenced in APA 6th edition in the description box below. The URL is there for you to have a read of for yourself if you would like to also, and will be referenced in APA 6th edition. This is a photo of Hannah Clarke and her children, for those of you who may not have heard of the event before, as it was a recent case that occurred at the start of the year of 2020. There were numerous issues that hadn't made the cut for policing within the article and the event itself, before and after Rowan Baxter murdered his estranged wife and 3 children, pouring petrol on them and setting them alight in a car fire. The 3 children died at the scene, along with Baxter, when he stabbed himself in the chest with a knife. Hannah died in the Royal Brisbane Women's Hospital later that night. This was the result of several domestic violence encounters, Baxter's ongoing behaviour, and several police interactions, which still remain unclear to the extent where police fulfilled their power in order to protect Hannah and the safety of her children, before her final report to the police of Baxter grabbing and twisting her wrist. This led the police to referring Hannah to the Brisbane Domestic Violence Centre and Baxter to other support services available. Ms. Clarke was a high-risk victim after experiencing financial, sexual and emotional abuse, and when police hadn't conducted any sufficient legal responses to Baxter's abusive behaviour. Rowan Baxter abducted one of his daughters during a pre-arranged visit after the couple separated at the end of late last year of 2019. To conclude the several issues listed above, the lead police investigator was stood down from the case after making comments that suggest he was victim blaming, including statements, "Police were keeping an open mind during investigation and Baxter may have been pushed too far." These comments are unacceptable and raise concerns that the undergone policing approach had failed, which led to the escalation of Baxter's behaviour and the tragic event. The key issues related to the course are linked by police misconduct and policing women, a subtopic of policing diverse communities. The several times Hannah reported abusive cases to the police was followed by a high level of police dismissal, along with neglecting a high-risk victim, according to Hannah's domestic violence support worker, Manya Whaley, and the chief executive of the Women's Legal Services, Angelina Lynch. They both suggested that the police failed to recognise the intensity of the risk Hannah was involved in, which led to the investigative incompetence. In regard to the police, women and male violence, there had been a sufficient level of under-policing proven in this case. This relates to the failure of recognising Baxter's coercive and controlling tactics, failure to properly investigate the offences, along with the inability to protect and support Hannah, which is crucial for survival and clearly failed due to the loss of 4 innocent lives from unequal protection from victimisation and under-policing. The major interest for me was hearing that Hannah was a high-risk victim after experiencing the different types of domestic abuse, including financial, sexual and emotional abuse. My view on Ms. Clarke's catastrophic case does affect my view towards policing within the women and male violence reports, due to the lack of concern in the beginning of the police side, as the safety of complainants should be paramount in any domestic or intimate partner situation. However, they did fail this aspect, which deprived Hannah's safety and her survival rate. Not only did they under-police the situation, but the level of betrayal on behalf of the lead investigator before being stood down from the case was anything more than horrendous, that little care was supplied in the death of 4 innocent victims. This raised concerns for me due to the fact that they suggest sustained improvements are or have been made, but to what extent, because the investigation and the police attitudes in this case prove otherwise. The police exceed their powers in many unacceptable circumstances, However, for a victim of abuse, where was the power for a woman's survival here? Finally, the statistics shown of 40% of calls to the Women's Legal Service Centre were going unanswered, and this demonstrates that there is a lack of role fulfilling. They are pushing the responsibility back onto women to protect themselves and their safety due to the resources being constricted and currently unreliable. It would be great to engage in any further resources and study about how police and their law enforcing systems go about domestic and intimate violent cases. I'm going to leave you all with my one concern of the failed area of policing with, if police are implying that a murdered woman or women may be at fault and improvements are still being made, then is it really critical or crucial to them as to whether they are taking a woman's safety seriously enough, especially after no violence was used in return from Hannah to decrease her chances of further victimisation. Thank you for your time and for listening to my presentation. I would like to encourage you to please post any comments along with your feedback, as it would be greatly appreciated. Thank you once again for listening, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation.